What's up, guys? My name is Shishir Nigam, and welcome again to our channel Journey to Freedom, where you can follow along on our journey to financial freedom through the worlds of Shopify and dropshipping. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so that you get to know every single time we put out a brand new video like this one. Today, you guys are in for a treat. We have managed to secure an interview with Kamil Sattar, who is one of the most popular YouTubers on the world of dropshipping and e-commerce. His channel is called the ECOM King, and he has a lot of subscribers because he gives out tons of valuable content on his channel. So be sure to check that out after you watch this interview. We have split it up into two parts. Today we're releasing part one of the interview. Make sure you watch it till the end because we got some amazing content and value and nuggets from Camille that he shared during the interview. And if you're liking the content, all that we ask is make sure you hit the like button so that YouTube can put this video out in front of other people like yourself who can benefit from the content. We put in a lot of time and effort into producing these for you at no cost whatsoever. So just drop us a like and comment below on how you're finding the content. So let's get right into the interview. So hi everyone, my name is Shishir Nigam and welcome again to our channel Journey to Freedom. Today we have the pleasure of talking to Kamil Sattar, and he's also known as the Ecom King on YouTube. He has a very successful YouTube channel because he provides tons of value to his followers. So make sure to head over there after this video and subscribe to his channel as well. So today we have the pleasure of talking to him, and I'll be grilling him with lots of important questions on dropshipping and his own journey. So there'll be lots and lots of tips and advice coming along from him. So make sure you stay till the end of the interview to catch all the golden nuggets. So Camille, thanks again for joining us and taking out the time.
Thank you so much for having me on board and taking the time out to prepare the questions for your audience, and I hope they find value in this Q&A.
Definitely. So let's get started. So I think if you could start off generally with how you got started overall within the dropshipping business, e-commerce in general, that'll be a good place to start.
Yeah, so basically I started back I started my entrepreneurial journey back in 2015 when I quit my college. And I quit my day job, or should I say my part-time job in retail. And I started getting into buying and reselling high-end designer brands and high-end luxury goods. And then I was doing that for a year and a half. And then after I decided to pack it in, I was looking for other business models. I got involved in network marketing. After I packed that in, I got into drop shipping in 2017. And then from 2017, my first year wasn't amazing. My first successful store in 2017 was an iPhone privacy screen protector. I did $25,000 with that. And then in 2018 to 2019, that's when I was able to do my first $1 million in revenue with my business partner. And that's all been verified by Oberlo, and that was seen on their YouTube channel not too long ago.
That's amazing. Fantastic. Very quick growth at a very young age.
Yeah, so I started, like I said, in 2015, but in terms of entrepreneurial thoughts, minds, honestly, since I was in secondary school from year 9 to when I finished, I was always thinking about being my own boss because I have a couple of very successful family members in business. And I always thought, wow, they've got such a great lifestyle. They make a lot of money, they have freedom, they have power. And I thought, I want to have some form of that as well. So ever since I was very, very young, I've always had a inspiration to do something for myself and grow something. And that's why I've been an entrepreneur for a very, very, very long time. And whilst I've been very, very young at the same time.
That's fantastic to hear. So if we go into a bit more specifics, did you start off your dropshipping journey by developing general stores, or were you sort of starting into niche branded stores directly from the beginning?
So it's funny enough, we actually started a general niche store. So it was basically anything to do with iPhone accessories. And the reason why I did that was because I was so passionate about technology. I'm a big Apple fanboy. I've got lots of tech, and I thought, I kept hearing online by people, try and sell something that you're passionate about, because the ad copy, the copywriting, the understanding of the target market will be easier if you're one of them anyway. So that's the reason why I did that.
Fair enough. That makes sense. And in that initial phase that you mentioned up until 2018 or even up in 2019, what were some of the biggest failures and learning experiences that helped you grow in the beginning?
The hardest part for me was spending lots of money on Facebook and not getting the money back. And it's like, when you come from a job background and you're used to somebody paying you a paycheck, and then you go in to spend lots of money on advertising and then losing the money and sometimes never seeing it again, it can be very, very challenging. The other parts that I found very hard are KPIs, understanding my numbers, understanding my metrics. Again, I have no school degrees. I didn't pass math. I am not educationally talented. So for me to be good at reading numbers, understanding numbers, looking at data, that was very challenging for me.
Fair points. I think initially I've covered that on my channel before, and I think of it as an investment mentality where you need to have that if you're in a business. And it's difficult to grasp up front, but you need to invest that money and understand that you're investing in your own education and growth, really.
100%. And yeah, 100%. You got to understand, a lot of people come from a background where if you say you have to invest into something, people will say it's a scam, or they say, why are you doing it? So when I started, and my mom was like, Cam, why are you investing that money in this? You shouldn't be doing that. It's like, it's a lot of contradictions, and it's really hard, because when you got people around you saying that's not right, it's like, it's hard. You're having a mental fight with yourself. One shoulder's saying do it, one shoulder's saying don't do it. And being so young when I started, I don't know what it is, but you just don't know any better, do you? So when you're that young, you've not got much life experience, you don't really know much about investments and stuff like that. So it's really, really challenging.
Yeah, everything is a dart thrown in the dark, right?
100%.
And you just hope that you have the right guidance and mentorship around you to bring you there in the right way.
And again, just want to say a quick thank you to all the mentors that have been in my journey personally throughout this whole process. Because without my mentors and my peers, I wouldn't be where I am today.
That's fantastic. So if we get into a bit more specifics about product research for a start, what do you think are the main key characteristics that you look for personally when you're trying to identify the products that you want to test out on your stores and the ones that end up becoming the likely winners? How do you try to identify that? What are the 2 or 3 main things you look for?
So I'm not like most people. I try and sell the products that have never really been touched before. I like to go for very, very newly seen products to the market with low order quantities. And the reason why I like to do that is because of the actual costs on Facebook being a lot cheaper because there's less competition. Not just that, but the scalability and the lifetime cycle on a product that's new is going to be a lot longer. Your typical winning products that have been around, they normally have a lifespan of between 6 and 12 months at best. So to have a product that can do 12 to 18 months is amazing. So I do look for newly products to the market on AliExpress as a main source. Other things that I really take into consideration is the trend. So I like to go on Google Trends, and and not just type. A lot of people go onto Google Trends, they type in one search phrase, and that's it. I like to compare lots of different search phrases against each other to see which date is telling me what's going on with that current trend. So I like to do that as well. I also like to sell products that have very, very good marketing materials, whether that be videos, photos, copywriting on the internet. And that's something else that I really take into consideration. Now, I've always said to people, you can do all the research in the world, but until you spend money on advertising, you will never know what's going to happen. I know guys that spend weeks and weeks doing this crazy research because they come from a research background in their corporate jobs. And then when they go and test it out, like before they test it, like, Cam, I know my age range is going to be 34 to 65. And then when they go and do it, it's never that case because you never know till you spend money.
Exactly. That's a very good point. I think I completely agree with you. I think there's a lot of over-analysis almost, especially because of the content on YouTube. People tend to focus on product research as the stuff that there's some weight to that you should spend a good amount of time on that. But ultimately, you have to decide, okay, this is where I cut off my research time and start my actual testing time with money behind it. Because beyond a certain point, it's not worth the additional time you put into it until you figure out that it's worth the money that the time that you're putting into it once you have tested.
100%. I always say to people, till you spend at least $300, you will never know.
Yeah, fair enough. Now on the flip side, the one counterpoint I would have to the strategy you mentioned of identifying low or newer items would be that you probably have a harder time finding successful products, maybe. But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so with a lot of people say, Cam, I respect that you want to go for newly sourced products to the market, but there's less signs of success because there's no proof of concept and whatnot. But what you have to do is you have to look at that product and say, does it have these key ingredients? And if it does, then go and give it a shot. Key ingredients being, is it something that has a wow factor? Is it something that is unique? Is it something that has a new way of doing? Because there's a lot of products that have been successful in the past, but if there's a new way of doing it, if there's a new method of doing what that product's going to do, it's still going to do very, very well. So let's say you're doing, let's say, an eyebrow shaving tool, but there's a new tool that's come out on the market that does the same outcome, but with a newer technology. People are going to buy it. Same with when people upgrade their phones. So that is one of the, the posture corrector, that famous product, the posture corrector. There was a newer version of the posture corrector that came out where it actually vibrates when you're in the wrong posture. So that's a new version of a previous winning product.
Yes.
But that product in the newer version's barely been sold. So there's a lot of money on the table.
Fair point. Thanks for using the example. Hope you're finding value in the content so far, guys, and if you are, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so that you get to know every single time that we put out a brand new video. And make sure you stay till the end of this one to catch all the content, and comment below on what you like and what you'd like to hear about. Stay with us. And do you typically focus more on lower ticket items or higher ticket items? What's your preference?
I would say when I was a beginner, straight out the bat, I was focusing more on your medium to low, just because they're easier to sell. They're a lot easier to get people through the conversion window. But now, currently as we speak now, I'm purely focusing on products that are up above $49.99 in terms of selling price. The reason why is I know my profit margins, I ain't gonna have to worry about them too much. I know the expenses are going to be paid and I'm going to be left with a decent amount of money. And with higher ticket products tend to come higher quality products, which means chargebacks, returns are not very normally the problem. And in terms of shipping, I always find higher ticket items tend to have better shipping lines and actual prices. So yeah, I'm focusing more at the moment on my medium to higher ticket items.
I agree. I think in the current environment, you have to have that because shipping costs are escalating. So you need to somehow manage that and cover for that.
Yeah, I said in my video, one of my most recent videos about suppliers, if you're not making at least $30, then you're not going to make money.
Exactly. One approach that I personally took in my initial journey was, likewise, I started off with medium to low ticket items, but when I was debating high ticket or low ticket, I said that I sort of took the middle ground and said, hey, let's try a low to mid ticket item. Let's say a $25 entry item, which is it's still in the impulse buy range, but then you have enough complementary products in your funnel so that you end up with an average order value of 50 plus. So you get the benefit of that, impulse buy price upfront. So people don't have to think about it for 5 days. But once they buy it, that is the best time for them to then click on another buy button when they've just bought something from you. So in my experience, that was how we got a lot of our success in 2019. We built on, mid to low ticket values, but then increase the average order value through a lot of complementary products.
I'm really happy you mentioned that, actually, and very much respect to you. That's a very good point because with our first success in our businesses, in ECOM, we were selling, again, like you said, medium to low, but the reason why we were so successful is because our AOV was insane. The cross-selling, the after-selling we did, SMS marketing. I have an SMS success story and SMS bump. Yes. The amount of after-selling we were doing to people, Facebook chat inbox upselling, honestly, the cross-selling, upselling, it was through the roof. And as you say, as soon as you're able to get on an advertising platform, get in the bids where they're low because the product you're selling is low, and then get them through the door. Honestly, if you plan it out properly, as you just said, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll touch a bit on that later on increasing average order value. So now, given the current environment in the shipping challenges that everybody is having in the industry, how are you tackling some of the current logistical problems that are hitting the dropshipping world?
very happy you mentioned that question. So in terms of winning products, so all my winning products, I have them sent in bulk now to fulfillment centers, because that is literally, if you've got a winning product, the only way around it is to send it to a fulfillment center. There's no other way around it. Honestly, nothing else. In terms of just starting a dropshipping store, you want to use things like CJ packet line. You want to try and use Wuhan shipping. You want to try and use UPS or DPD lines if they're available. I would recommend you stay away from AliExpress. The only line on AliExpress at the moment that's decent is AliExpress. Still don't recommend it. And Yuan shipping. They're the only lines on AliExpress that work. CJ Packet's pretty decent. We're getting averagely between 8 and 20 day shipping with that line.
And is CJ Packet impacted by the more recent announcement from the US that they're banning Chinese passenger flights?
Yeah, so there's a lot in the air at the moment. I've spoke to CJ Dropshipping. I've got a very good relationship with them, so I get very good support. They're saying to me at the moment, there's nothing actually confirmed about this. So Trump's not actually said nothing has
acted on
writtenly been confirmed yet. So everything at the moment is completely fine. She said if there is a confirmal from Trump, then there will be delays in order processing and shipment by between 3 and 15 days. But she said if it gets to that point, they'll end up making a new direct line to the US. But you got to understand, passenger planes are the ones that they're saying that are going to be banned, not actual business.
Yeah, exactly. Not charter commercial planes. That's fair. And on your point about US, importing products into the US for the ones which you are winning for you. The flip side of that would be the ones that you're testing. So how do you manage that part of the business cycle? Products you're testing, how are you still managing the logistics on that end?
So when you're testing a new product and the logistics are not very good, then what you need to make sure that you're doing is either doing a pre-order. So you're saying to customers, look, you're not buying the product and you're not going to get it sent to you. You're going to pre-order it. And once we know that the logistics are going to be better, then we'll send the product out. So that's one great way of doing it. Now, the reason why I prefer doing it that way is because it's ethically more important, because at least you're not giving somebody a bad service. If you're saying you pre-order them, they know they're not going to get the product straight away. They know they have to wait until you confirm when it's going to get sent out. That way it gives you time to sort out your logistics, find a good supplier, find a good shipping time. That's one great way of doing it. Another great way of doing it is just making sure that, again, like I said, you find something like CJ Packet or a DHL line.
That's a fantastic tip, Camille. Thanks for that. Now, going into the Facebook ads, the media buying part of the business, which I think many people gravitate to in terms of getting advice and tips, what are some of the testing strategies that you use and the budgets that you keep in mind when you're testing new products on your stores?
Yeah, so if I'm testing a product that's $34.99 and under, I do $30 a day with 5 ad sets in a CBO. Anything above that, so between $34.99 and $74.99, I'm doing $50 a day for 5 ad sets. Anything above that, I'm doing $70 a day for 5 ad sets. So if it's doing 10 ad sets, you just duplicate the budget basically. But what I'm doing is I'm doing CBO campaigns from the get-go, not original campaigns, and I'm doing 5 create. So however many ad sets I have, I do the same amount of creatives. So if I'm doing 10 ad sets, I do 10 creatives, 10 different videos, 10 different thumbnails, 10 different ad lines, 10 different ad copies. Now, the reason why I do that is because sometimes it's not your targeting that's the problem, it's your actual advertisement that's the problem. So by giving Facebook the variation, will give you better chances. I do e-packet countries minus Canada and Mexico. You definitely don't want to be shipping to Canada at the moment. That's a nightmare. And Mexico, high fraudulent charges. So I do e-packet minus those countries. I also do automatic placements. I also do gender is both, and the age will be 21 to 65. I do 1 interest per ad set, and I let the reach between 5 and 100 million. And then again, like I said, 1 ad per ad set.
That's fantastic. That's your playbook right there. So
there's my playbook.
Just to clarify, so the budgets you mentioned are at the campaign level? So in
campaign level, not ad set level, but do bear in mind, I do add a minimum ad set spend to each ad set, which will be $3.
Okay, that makes sense. So they're tested out evenly, right?
Yes, sir. You hit the nail on the head.
And then when you move something to scaling, do you end up starting a brand new campaign, or you just scale that initial testing?
So when I scale, I normally move my best performing ad sets into a new CBO, and then I start playing around with the budgets, minimum spends, duplicating winning ad sets, expanding the interests, narrowing down and whatnot. Because I have a campaign purely for testing purposes, whether it be testing new creatives, testing new ad sets, testing new audiences, and then I have separate campaigns for scaling different parts of the process.
Okay. And on the creative level, when you're in the testing phase, you said, let's say you're creating 5 or 10 different creatives. Are those, are you using dynamic creative optimization, or you're having individual creatives?
Individual.
Okay. And the reason for that?
Honestly, personally, I know everybody's ad account, everybody's business manager is reacts to things very much differently.
Yes.
But mine personally, I've tried it like that and I just don't get any good results.
And my assessment of it is, likewise, I've tried both, but I find that a major downside to DCO is that you don't have the social proof gathering on one particular creative.
Nope.
If that's the one that's working. And yeah, it's debatable, the upsides and downsides of either one, but I think it's like you said, I think it depends on the ad account. You got to test it for yourself.
And people don't even realize that, dude. People don't realize every ad account's completely different in terms of how it reacts. So it's important to bear that in mind.